That's how I feel. That is how I feel. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. A little bit of a doom and gloom. Well, not doom and gloom. A little bit of a sad F1 Fantasy Pole Position because it was all going so well. I don't even know if I should wear this hat. I'm mad at F1, but I will try to keep it on my head straight. I'll probably be adjusting it the entire time, but brutal. I actually don't like that. No, we're not gonna wear that. But anyways, just another Oppenheimer meme. God, that was. You can't control the DNFs, but good lord, they still sting. Hopefully, everyone is doing well and had a pretty good Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's check out what everyone is up to. Dr. Stupid saying Behrman, sad face. Nicholas saying Behrman, otherwise I'm quite happy with that, even though Triple Aston would have been better than Ferrari. Cheers, Lewis. Derek, LL really sucked for points and budget for me this week. 288 points and only 0.9 budget gain. Yeah, mixed feelings, says Craig. Swapped Aston for Ferrari. Dope. But also chose Lance over Behrman and stuck with Alonso. So kind of evened out, I think, without doing the loose goose math. Yes. Yes. You leave the loosey goosey math to me, Craig. I'll take care of that. Don't you worry, sir. But I appreciate the follow-up. Bernard says, you have to follow your gut instinct. Unfortunately for me, I will get an estimated 1.9 increase instead of the 2.1 million I would have gotten if I kept the same T1 team as you. Derek says, it would be cool if Aston kept up this form. Would make fantasy really fun and interesting. I agree, Derek. Macatek says, switch Mercedes for Ferrari. Behrman in, didn't switch from kick to Aston. All my team suffered. Yeah, ouch. Also, blazing pit stops by McLaren. 2 pit stops of 1.9. Yeah. Like, F1 Fantasy Tools is giving McLaren 25 points, which, like, is that... I don't even remember what that is. Is that the world record that they've got there? But, yes, that is where we're at. MacTech saying, both McLaren and Ferrari on fire with the pit stop. Shame the same can't be said for strategy. Ouch. Ferrari broke my damn heart with strategy, but that's par for the course, says Bernard's. Race as a whole was enjoyable. I agree, MacAttack. I had a great time. Kept me and my friend on the edge of our seats. Great strategy for Norris. Didn't have to overtake a single soul during the race. MacAttack, oof, that's a hard one to swallow. Bar Alonso at the beginning. Craig Barr, such is life. Yep, agree itself. Plus the fantasy interest kept it fire. I agree. Huge congrats though to anyone who went Alonso instead of Behrman. 2.3 predicted increase. Well, what if you had Albon and Behrman, Benods? Because that is what I had, and not great, Bob. Not great. Why is that not showing up? I want that to show up a little bit better for you guys. Let me do this a little bit here. And then, wait, no, I need to do this. And then probably minimize that screen. That will help, hopefully. There we go. Oh, just increase this a little bit here. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Move it over. Okay, that should work. That should work. That way you can see how my team scored. 232 points predicted right now with, I think, 2.1 million in budget rise, which is not the end of the world. But, we were this close to greatness. This close to greatness. It was so close. I didn't even know that Behrman had damage. Like, it just came on the radio that he had substantial rear wing damage, and then the next lap, it was Alex Jakes and Julian Palmer telling me that Ollie Behrman was retiring, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I guess it is what it is. Macatech says, I need to grow some minerals if I want to succeed in this fantasy stuff. As you said, go with the gut feeling. I did not want to put Behrman in, nor did I was 100% sure about switching to Ferrari. Chris Cullen says, I feel lucky. Did Behrman, Alonso, and Ferrari to Norris, Lawson, and Aston, then played the autopilot. Wow. Great job by you, Chris. Let's see. I'm off to buy lottery tickets, says Chris. Predicted to rise 2.1 million, would still bring my total to 129.5. Still unsure about going 4A because the field is so close. Absolute waste of a limitless chip for me, says Sai. Let's see here. Let's see here. People are saying hello. What is up? What is up? Avails. Ferrari wasn't good, but I had Bortoleto and Alonso. Risking budget paid off. Well done. My projected budget is 125.9, so that feels a little like no man's land. Points less budget. Happy to furious that Lando Botley Nick gave him the W. 277 from you with Gabriel Goat-Aleto, says G-Wiz. Yes, Goat-Aleto. Great nickname. If Mike is cutting out for anyone else, start the stream and I'll go back to 100%. Thank you. No stap to Brooklyn. Appreciate that. I thought 1.8 was world record. Yeah, I don't remember what the world record was. 20 points for faster than 2 seconds and 5 points for fastest pit stop overall. Thank you, Nicholas. How Bortoleto didn't get a rise. I'm so glad that Gabby Bortoleto does not get a rise. I'm glad everyone else got his points, but I am so happy that Gabby Bort's got a rise because he is pretty much guaranteed to rise the next race at this point. He's going to be 4.5 million. I'll be bringing him into my team no matter what. Gabby or Ollie Behrman straight to Gabriel Bortoleto is pretty much as locked get in F1 fantasy. The big Apo, hey all, Behrman disappointed us in Ferrari, but at least at the same time, Lawson, Bortoleto, and Alonso are all must now. I agree. At the start of the week, I was going to swap Alonso out for Behrman, says Squirtle, but changed my mind after the practice sessions. Thank God I stayed with Giga Fernando. Yes. Of course, the potentially once a season pit stop bonus goes to every single fantasy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really make a difference. We all had McLaren. Alex says, had Piastri 3 times, Leclerc 2x, Bortoleto, Alonso, Lawson, McLaren, and Aston. Not too bad. Cordy Net says, hello. I actually think McLaren screwed Oscar winning the race because Lando's mistake early on in the race. Let's see. Oh, lots of people in the chat. What is up? 68 people watching, 4 likes. So we're going to have to get those likes up, guys. You know, you got to help me out a little bit there. So don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. That is always appreciated. I'm trying to catch up in the chat right now, and then we will get into some business. Zach Pitt says, I had Norris, Piastri, Behrman, Lawson, Hulk, Aston Martin, McLaren. What moves should I make coming up? I had 0.3 left over with budget before the week. Probably Behrman to Bortoleto is going to be a fantastic move for you. Aston Martin should still be rising 0.6 million. McLaren will continue to rise. Norris should rise. Piastri might have a little bit of a hard time getting to the 0.3 rise the next race, but you should be fine. Squirrel says, Oscar literally asked for the undercut and people are saying McLaren screwed him with the 2-stop. The big Apo says, Bortoleto needs -15, Lawson 1, and Alonso 3 for 0.3 next race. Sainz 0 for 0.2 and 6 for 0.6. Holy moly. Where did you find that, big Apo? You doing some loosey-goosey math without me on the side? You know that's my shtick, but hopefully I'm just going to take your word for it, and that's great stuff. I was thinking of a -10 to swap at Bortoleto. Glad I didn't. What a depressing watch for Leclerc at the end. What's on taps for drinks? I have a sparkling water. Well, it's lime flavored, but because I got a green screen here, it looks blue. And then this is also a little bit of a Crony Blanc. So that is what I will be drinking for the next 35-ish minutes. Cordy says, got 172 with Limitless. Not really good, but at least my rival had Behrman. Not bad at all. Macatech says, 1.8 at Qatar 2023 McLaren. It's a margin of 1 point. So if F1 finds a phantom overtake somewhere to take his score to 26, then 0.2 mil, regardless, certain 0.6 in Zandvoort. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Nicholas, great call by you. Is it time to get off the Hulk train? I don't think so. 18 points should keep him in the vicinity, especially when, let's see here. What do you have going into it? 45, 7. I guess it'll be kind of close because he's going to be, what, 9.6. So, yeah, Hulkenberg may be like, if you really need the 0.6 rise, maybe you can risk keeping him in. G-Wiz says, hit the like, fam. Appreciate that, G-Wiz. I believe Hulkenberg will start to drop soon. If not next race, maybe one after. Potentially. Yeah, that's a good shout, Benods. Spyry21, my swap from Behrman to Stroll was worth it, but unfortunately I also took in Lawson for Gabby Bortz. Well, that might not be the worst thing in the world. I know, like, you lose out on points, but if Bortoleto is going to fall, then you can just bring Bortoleto in quite easily. Avail says, I haven't used a transfer in 2 races. I got Lawson, Alonso, and Bortoleto, which will look good again for budget. So I'm just going to throw away some more transfers. Let's see here. So Piastri, Norris, Stroll, Lawson, Hulkenberg, McLaren's, and Aston. Crushing it, Chris. Great job by you. How it went with points for budgets for next races, Alonso, Hulkenberg, and Stroll. Yeah, that's a good point. I think they'll all be fine. Really bad weekend to be a Ferrari fan, probably. No, F1 Fantasy Tools. You can input the values according to live data. It is customizable. Appreciate that. F1 Fantasy Week being decided by Behrman Lawson transfers. Yes. If you kept Behrman, it was a rough week. If you went down to Lawson, the thing is, I don't know a lot of people that were going from Behrman to Lawson. I think a lot of people were going from Alonso to Lawson. I understand that, but I don't think a lot of people were going from Behrman to Lawson. I don't think that was a very popular transfer. I had the Stones to go Behrman to Lawson. Oh, there we go. Thank you. No stop to Brooklyn, but not Stones enough to follow my heart and do Ferrari to Aston. Okay. Big Apple says 1 for 0.2 and 10 for 0.6 Hulk next race. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. Is Bortoleto going to rise this week? I don't think so. I think he needs 1 more point to rise, and I don't think it's going to get there. Hulk had a terrible day and has potential to be heaps better given Bortoleto's performance. Yeah, but Bortoleto keeps putting it in like Q3 and is really starting to shine during the second half of the season here. Can I ask what a 3x PS? Can I ask what a 3x Piastri, 2x Norris, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, McLaren got me? You can ask that. Yes. So 90 plus 76. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yes. I'll just add the team in. Let me just add a team in. Here we go. Add a manual team. What was that? It's going to be 3x with McLaren, Aston, Piastri, Norris, Stroll, Hulkenberg, and Bortoleto. And you gave the 3x to Piastri, and you gave the 2x to Norris. So you're looking at 370 points projected. That's not too shabby at all, Urban. Great job by you. Nope. Behrman's going to drop. I want Behrman to Lawson. There you go, Michael. Great job by you. I had Limitless with Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, Russell Verstappen with McLaren, Ferrari. Do you think it was a good week for it, or should I have waited? I think it was a good week for it. I just don't think that the results panned out, Phil. So it is unfortunate. I think it's a good process, bad results. I just don't think you can, once qualifying locks in, what are we going to do about it? But it is what it is. Ethan says, have Piastri, Behrman, Alonso, Lawson, Hulkenberg with McLaren, Ferrari with 3 food transfers. What should I be thinking about, or should I just wild card? Probably Behrman to Bortoleto. And I don't know. Yeah, that might be it. That's not bad at all. Behrman to Bortoleto could get you in the vicinity where you're looking at like going Piastri to Norris if you want to get a little bit differential, but I don't know. Hussein says, so glad I kept Alonso this week. Yes, Limitless had a delta of 30 to 40 points max. Not the best day. Belgium by far the right call so far in the season. I agree. Okay, so budget builder. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see where... Okay, where... I don't even know. I don't know, Big Apo. I'm trying to find the customizable thing that you've got going on here, but I can't seem to find it, unfortunately. So maybe if you can point me in the right direction, I would love to... I'd love to do that on the screen for the rest of the people. My Limitless on Team 3 had 2x on Hamilton accidentally. Haha, ouch. My Yank says, went from Mercedes to Ferrari, took a -10 in process, moved out Ocon and Behrman for Lawson and Stroll as well, which did work out well, only for Mercedes to outscore them XD. They've updated the points required post-Hungary. Oh, they have already? Am I going crazy? No. No, there's no way they have they? Oh, wait, hold on. No, that can't be right. I'm going crazy. I can't find it. Go required points in the budget builder. Required points. Okay, here I am. And input values in round 12. Oh. And then the prize. I did not know that. Look at that. Hunky dory. 26.4. And then, so Piastri has 30. Ah. You are the best, Big APO. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just saw the update points for my Limitless team, 237. Ouch, ouch. Right now, what is this saying? Oh, provisional points, 161 points right now for provisional points. Went Limitless, not great, but could have been a lot worse if Piastri had taken lead. Yes, that would have been disastrous, Colin. Yes, it sure would have been. Nicholas says, using F1 Fantasy Tools provisional live scores, this resulted in 93 overtakes provisionally, so you could change. Who says you can't overtake around Hungary? Yeah, there was a lot of like tire offsets going on around the track. But, okay, so let's do some live scoring here. So Norris with the 38 points, and he's going to be 31.4. So Piastri needs 23 points. Okay, so let's go check all this out. This is great stuff, APO. Thank you. I've been this has been awesome. I'm going to use this quite a lot. So let's input all the live scoring, shall we? Shall we just go through that real quick? So Bortoleto 25. But let's say he's 4.5. Oh, there we go, 4.5. So it is changing like that. So he is going to be well in line for a price rise. Let's see here. Lost says, does anyone went for this team? McLaren, Aston, Norris ×2, Russell, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto should be like 314 without any chips. Oof. Damn, that would be fire. Lost. Fraser says, damn, so nearly went with Max/Aston, Norris ×2, Piastri, Alonso, Stroll, Hulkenberg would have been 302 points. Damn, that is huge. Thank you, Big APO. Nice to plan ahead. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, that is awesome. How much budget do you think the majority of players have at the moment? Is it worth going 4A for the differential if others can't afford it? I'm still trying to get to the 4A. I think I will be able to now because let's see here. So Antonelli with his 14 points, not negative 14, 14, still likely to drop. So he'll be 15.9. It is tempting to go to Antonelli next week as the 4A light, especially if Mercedes looks okay. In for a 0.2 price rise, but what was Alonso? 17 points, is that right? Alonso with 17 points. He's going to be 7.5. So 2 points for Alonso. Stroll coming through with 13 points. He's going to be 9.7. This is fantastic. You have blown my mind, Big Apo. This is awesome. Antonelli not the best option, unfortunately. Yeah, probably not. Fraser says 131.7 budget for the next race. That is absurd, sir. Like, that is just out of this world crazy. So 18 points for Hulkenberg. Behrman's going to be 7.5 with a negative 20. Albon has 11, and he'll be 10.8, right? He went up 0.2. Sainz, is Sainz going to go up? No, 11. So he'll be 6.3 with 11 points. So Sainz could be an option. I can afford a light 4A with Antonelli. Should I consider it? I'm brave, but not that brave to bring in Antonelli. I know you are, gee whiz. 4A looks good as Mercedes look better, and Bortoleto with Lawson at 4.5 could rise. Yes. Fraser is flying, unlike Leclerc in the final stint. Yeah, just absolutely brutal from Ferrari. I don't know what happened. I mean, Leclerc seemed very, very upset on the radio, talking about how, like, they could have gone for the one stop, and that it would have been, like, he could have made it work, which he definitely could have. He made it work at Monza last year where he held off both the McLarens. So seems like Charles Leclerc did kind of almost get the rug pulled out from under him. We are almost to 3,550 subscribers. So don't forget, if you are watching, to like the channel or like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are commenting, you just need to subscribe for 1 minute to get in the chat. So that is pretty much that. But yeah, Leclerc was really furious with Ferrari. You are right, G-Wiz. Depending on what we see in free practice, Mercedes and the two drivers at 4.5 could help bid budget to get Ferrari if they recover. Thomas says, did Limitless, but wish I didn't. Do Ham. Could have been much worse, though, and George was good call over Max. Yeah, I was on George over Max. I didn't anticipate Max having that bad of a day or George having that good of a day, but it worked out. Law says, I'm also really glad that stayed with Alonso and not swapped him with Behrman. Yeah. I think I was saying I wouldn't make the swap, but I did prefer Behrman over Alonso. Yeah, yesterday's stream was awesome. 2 hours of a lot of fun where I did absolutely nothing. I didn't even make a single move. And I'm not going to be... So I was talking about this yesterday on the stream. Like, what am I going to go to sleep with tonight? Head hits the pillow. Yep. And I'm going to be like, I didn't make that move. I didn't make that. And I think I made all the right moves. I think right now, if I had gone Alonso to Behrman, I would be really upset because that would have meant that I had Behrman in the team and like I would have missed out on the 0.6 rise as well. So that would have been not fun at all. So I guess that cancels it all out. But so I'm still going to be able to go to sleep quite easily tonight and be like, I think I made the right move for my team. And like, it just didn't work out. Good process, bad results, as is the usual in F1 Fantasy. Colapinto is going to be at -4. Sonoda, what did Sonoda even do today? 4 points. Jeez. Yuki, man, I can't believe this. This is brutal. Hajar, where did you end up? 5 points. So that will be a little bit nice. And then you'll be at 5.1. So Hajar is probably still not an option. Maybe he'll be an option for Monza if he falls again. Needs 12 points to avoid a max drop. So that is interesting. Ocon went down 0.6. He scored 6 points. He will be 8.5. Lawson is at, well, what did Lawson score? 9 points today? 9 points. That's awesome. So yeah, Lawson will be a fantastic option next weekend. So I think bringing in Borletto, bringing in Lawson will be huge advantages to your F1 fantasy team. Keeping Alonso, I think keeping Hulkenberg is a valid option as well. I mean, obviously getting to Sainz is not a bad kind of shout either, but Borletto, Lawson should be very, very popular. Let's see. What are we doing here? Got some chats. Limitless successfully wasted 100. Yeah, but at least budget went up 2.1. This is my 4th race running with the DNF team. Being a Max fan right now hurts. Behrman DNF made it worse. Should we start thinking about triple McLaren and triple Aston team? I don't know. This track just seemed to suit Aston Martin a little bit. They put it all together and had a bang up weekend. We'll see what happens after the summer break. But they put it together in FP2 and FP3, and a lot of us trusted them, and it worked out. It worked out quite well for a lot of us F1 fantasy managers. The Key says, are you going to 4A next weekend? I don't think I can get there, especially now that Russell went up 0.1 as well. That is a little unfortunate. What is he at? 38 points. So he's going to be 22.4 with 38 points. So Russell should be set to rise quite a bit. Hamilton with 6 points. Jeez. What are we going to do with you, Lewis? What are we going to do with you? 23.8. And Leclerc, 20 points. So Leclerc went down 0.1 as well. Jeez. That is not so fun for Charles Leclerc. All right. So Sonoda's going to hit the price roller before we start running, probably. Do we know if Max got post-race penalty? Take Stroll out then? Yeah, I guess. 5 and 13. Yeah, so right now, looking at my team, Alonso, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Behrman. So Behrman and Stroll, I guess, are the ultimate candidates out. for Bortoleto and Lawson. And then it'll just depend, will I have enough money I won't have enough money to get to Russell, but Antonelli, 8 and 23. I don't know. If I downgraded a constructor, I could get to it. I mean, Aston Martin's going to be 11.3, and they scored, 45 today? So they're guaranteed pretty much a 0.6, like negative 34. But they have been on a pretty good run of form, and Aston Martin usually know how to break our hearts quite successfully. So we are over 3,550 subscribers, so thank you to the new subscribers. Really, really, really appreciate that. And yeah, we got over 3.5K, which is amazing. You can follow me on X at F1FantasyU, and I kind of like posted a thank you post and stuff. That was, yeah, I really appreciate it. The channel, literally on January 1st this year, the channel had 500 subscribers. And it's gained 3,000 subscribers in the first half of the season. So just like, everyone that is watching right now, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It makes coming on here so easy, just to like chit chat about anything F1, doing the Q&A streams on a Wednesday, waking up at 5 a.m. on a Monday morning to do transfer targets and team selection videos. Like, it's not even a chore. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. So really, really, from like the bottom of my heart, try not to get too sappy, since I'm not gonna see you guys for like 3 weeks, because we've got 3 weeks until the Netherlands Q&A stream. It's kind of sad. But it is what it is. But yes, once again, thank you. The Key says, could we possibly go for Merc since they look a lot better now, or just Hungary being an outlier? I think it might be. It could have been something that we need to look into with Mercedes, but we'd need Zandvoort to kind of get there. Michael with the super chat, congrats from an OG Lucy Goosey Mass supporter. Thank you, Michael. So much appreciated. Really, really appreciate it. Craig and Mac Attack, as per usual, just absolutely crushing it. But yes, Craig, thank you. And Michael, thanks for the super chat. You have been there. You may have been subscriber 1. I'm not even entirely sure, Michael, but you were like the first person where I was like, there's someone watching me. I can't believe this. Like, maybe I was questioning Michael's sanity for just watching this random dude talk about F1 fantasy, but thank you, Michael. Really, really appreciate that. As always, Benad says, no, it's more like thank you, and this is my first year getting into F1. You have helped a lot with my fantasy team. I hope so, because I hope it's going better than my fantasy team. Keshlin says, honestly, with the season we've had so far, I think we need a little time off. Yes. Speaking of time off, I probably will be taking this week off. I'll come back with all of the results from the summer break survey that you guys did. If I go look at it now, it is closed. So how many responses we have? 264 responses. So I'm going to break all of those down, and I will put out an episode probably coming out next Monday, next Tuesday, just kind of talk about the summer break. And then the week after that, I'll have team selection. And then the week after that, we'll be right back into it. So I guess it's really not that long. G-Wiz says, this track really suited Aston Martin. Don't know if it will be the same in the next race. That's a good point. Zandvoort is a little bit, I don't know. I guess I don't know track types all that well. It's probably one of the weaknesses of me as an F1 fantasy content creator, but I feel like Zandvoort is a little bit twisty, turny, and it kind of has like the turn 1 corner, and that's kind of it. So we'll see how it goes. Fraser says, ooh, I might be able to afford McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Norris next race. Ooh, that would be very spicy, Fraser. So we'll have to see how that goes. Arjun says, gonna just have 3X and autopilot left now. Gonna use both on a sprint weekend. That's probably a good idea, Arjun. Yep, probably a good idea for sure. Whew, mama. 30 minutes have already flown by. All right, so we go to the live scoring. Let's see how everyone shook out today. Norris and Russell came out on top, 38 points. Russell getting the fastest lap. Piastri in third at 30 points. Bortoleto, which is massive, says 25. Leclerc 20, Hulkenberg 18, Alonso 17, Antonelli 14, Stroll 13, Verstappen 12. The Williams guys came through a little bit on Sunday with 11 points each. Lawson 9, Hamilton with an absolute stinker, 6 points. Ocon, Hadjar, Gasly, Sonoda, Colapinto, Behrman. Yikes. On the team side, we got McLaren at 103, 59 for Mercedes, Aston Martin with 45, Ferrari 41, Kick 40, Red Bull 31, Racing Bulls 29, Williams 25, Alpine 4, and Haas negative 11. Yikes. Juan Pablo Casaru says, it's my first year playing fantasy. I didn't know that you could build budget until a few days ago. I have 113 million right now. Would it be possible to reach triple McLaren and Mercedes by the end? You would need to make some serious moves, Juan Pablo, but I mean, it can be done. You just got to play some major catch up. Maybe get on Aston Martin as a constructor for the next couple of weeks. Take some bigger risks in the 0.6 department. While maybe people move up to score more points, you might just be needing to prioritize the budget drivers for like the next 5 races, but there are 10 races to go. So I think once you get, maybe after Baku, it's just going to be like, this is my budget and I just have to score the most points. That just might be the way that you need to do it for F1 Fantasy in 2025 for the Rangers season. It's kind of crazy that it's like the first half, but we're already in the final 10 races. Like, I can't believe it's like almost, it's not winding down, but it kind of feels like, yeah, kind of weird. What's your opinion on the Merc versus Ferrari second A-tier constructor? I mean, it's so back and forth each week. I was actually looking at this a little bit on the train today. My wife and I were going to a little bit of a wine walk before the Grand Prix, so had a little bit of fun. And like, if you look at the constructors here, right, there's pretty much almost every weekend, almost every weekend? Yeah, almost every weekend since Imola, a Tier B constructor has cracked the top 4 of the top 3. So in Imola, it was Williams. Monaco, it was Racing Bulls and Haas. We had Kick in Spain. Canada had all top 4 there. Austria had Kick and Haas. The UK had Aston Martin cracking the top 4. Belgium was the top 4 regular teams, but now we're going to have Aston Martin cracking it as well. So when it comes to Ferrari plus Mercedes, let's see here. Like over the course of the season, 51.8 to 42.4. And it's kind of like Mercedes have these like really big weeks where it kind of all comes together for them. But Ferrari in general are just a better constructor. 67, 71, 61, 57, 67, 41, 70. And like on the off week, like these weird spike weeks that you can kind of like get Mercedes. But I mean, they both go up 0.3. It's a little bit of points. That is not great, but I think in general, I'm just going to stick with Ferrari until like I have to get to Mercedes. I don't think the usual gap between Ferrari and Mercedes, which I guess is 9 points, can really be made up by going like Russell here over Antonelli. Okay, so I guess Russell is outscoring Antonelli by 14 points now this season, or 14 points a race right now, but it's really tough. You have to do a little bit of loosey-goosey math that I'll probably get into over the course of the team selection video that will be out in a couple of weeks. But I think I'm okay sticking with Ferrari for right now. Bernard says, I have a question. How possible is it now for Kick to get 40 points every weekend? Well, they're not going to get... Oh, they're going to get 40 this weekend. Overtakes 15. I don't think we saw Hulkenberg coming through the field with 13 overtakes today. But Kick are moving up. They're going to be 8.7 now, or 9.3 now. I can't remember what they came in the day as. What did they come into the weekend as? Yeah, so they're going to be 9.3 now. So they will have to keep scoring points eventually. 40 and then 9.3. So They will be a pretty good bet to rise as well. A better bet than Aston Martin next weekend. We'll just have to see how it goes. Their floor that they brought in Spain, that upgrade seems to have like totally unlocked the car. Like Bortoleto and Hulkenberg are scoring points every weekend at this point. At least one of them are scoring points every weekend, it seems like. So going with Kick is not a bad option. It is the cheapest team on the grid. If we go here, can we open some team calculator? So Kick plus McLaren. So I'm anticipated to have 126.1 million for the next race. But let's say Bortoleto, Colapinto, and Lawson. What is that at? That's not even that expensive. So I did my math wrong there. So it would have to be Antonelli. So now we're talking about McLaren, Kick, Piastri, Norris, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Lawson, 125.5 million. That's a little bit of a spicy lineup there. This would require a wild card for me, and I do not have a wild card because I burned it in the second week of the season. But it's something to think about. I don't know. I don't hate it at all. Craig Barr says, do you know anything about a second chance / post-summer break league, i.e. starting with a new budget / team? I do not. I think if they start a second half league, it'll probably, it'll just be like your starting team, or it'll be the team you currently have now. So if you did make like a new email account or something, Craig, you would be starting with 100 million and potentially like a $30 million deficit to teams like Fraser. So I don't think there's a huge advantage, but like your points from the Dutch Grand Prix through Abu Dhabi would be the only thing that count. So yeah, I don't think there'd be a point of starting a new account. Maybe if you had a T3 team that had a lot of budget, you had all your chips, you could maybe save them for the last 10 races and try to do it that way. Serious conversations to be had about Bortoleto, scary talent. Yeah, he is really coming to his own in the second quarter this season. Bortoleto looks like a must-have next weekend. I agree. Bernard says, yes, since Spain has been insane for them. G Wiz says, what's your provisional overall rank at the moment, Ewan? I don't know. I think I was just outside the top 8K after qualifying, but, oh, man, I've taken a hit. That is brutal. I guess I was very templatey this week. So if anyone went with a differential like Gabriel Bortoleto, 20% of teams, whereas I went with Behrman, 60% teams. So that's a pretty big swing. That's like a 45-point swing. So that's pretty big. Trying to think of other differentials. Maybe even like an Albon would have come away with 30 more points as well. So I guess that's where we got hit. As Behrman managers, I didn't think the hit was going to be that bad where I'm clinging on to like a top 10K rank, but I guess it is what it is. I guess a lot of people went with Aston Martin this weekend, or a few people went with Aston Martin this weekend. But yeah, that's pretty brutal. Don't worry about that. You'll go up, no doubt, when you've done the full score. Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll see how it goes. But Phil says, so 132 million for Norris, Piastri, Russell, Bortoleto, Lawson, McLaren, and Kick, which some people will have really soon. Yeah, that is mighty scary, isn't it, Phil? But early thoughts for the Dutch Grand Prix would be Stroll and Behrman out for Bortoleto and Lawson. I think that's pretty easy. I have a third free transfer. I will probably be keeping Lawson or Hulkenberg and Alonso. 10 points. Lawson versus Bortoleto is 29 points and 0.6 budget. So savage. Yeah, that is brutal. Hulkenberg to Sainz could be an option. That would save me quite a lot of budget. But Bortoleto is just like so set to rise, and him and Lawson both cannot fall. So yeah, Bortoleto and Lawson will be super popular for the Dutch Grand Prix. I think everyone will be bringing them in. What else? I think I'll probably be keeping Piastri. 23 points for max price rise isn't all that bad. along with, yeah, Norris needs 36, Russell needs 24. I guess the nice thing that G Wiz is talking about right now says I've somehow managed to keep rolling to 3 transfers for the past 4 races. That's that I could just potentially do those Bortoleto Lawson transfers and have 3 transfers for Monza that I might need if things go my way, and I can actually catch up to that 4A heavy lineup by dropping down and then getting up with Bortoleto and Lawson. Because by that point, so Bortoleto and Lawson would rise to 5.1. Hadjar's going to drop to 4.5. I'll be happy to bring him into my team for at least one of those guys. Looks like Gasly's probably going to be 4.8 after the Dutch Grand Prix as well. What else are we looking at here in the fallers? Behrman will be down into the 6.3 range, so I don't know. But yeah, like the big Apo says, the only upside to Sainz is that Williams looks good for Monza. So having 3 transfers to bring in the Williams lads in Monza will be great. If Sainz can avoid a DNF in Zandvoort, him and Albon could be mighty fine for bringing them into your squad, even like the Williams constructor. Fraser says, looking at McLaren, Mercedes, Norris, Piastri, Bortoleto, Lawson, Colapinto. That is awfully nice. Is there any news about the investigation of the Max Hamilton incident? I haven't seen anything, but let me go to the old Twitter. Let's see what we've got here. It could take a while for them to get into that. The only way is up. The car is quick, and we have 2 drivers with potential. We've just struggled putting it together for the last 3 races, say Ayo Komatsu. So Haas not feeling all that great. Let's see. I haven't seen anything, so I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I guess, would that affect anything? Was Max too far ahead of Bortoleto for like a time penalty to do anything like that? Let's see here. So if we go to the results that I can put on the screen here. So, I mean, it wouldn't affect Bortoleto, but Antonelli could go up, I guess. I don't know how close Antonelli was to Verstappen, but okay. Nathan Wilkins says 369 points. I had 3x on Lando, 2x Oscar, Hulk, Bortoleto, and Lawson chuffed. Cool. Great job by you, Nathan. That is fantastic. Fraser says rank 1087 pre this weekend. Michael Fairman. Great job, Fraser. The big Apo says, yeah, you can most likely do that with 131.7 million. He's referring to Fraser's lineup, which is McLaren, Mercedes, Norris, Piastri, Bortoleto, Lawson, and Colapinto. But yeah, that is crazy. That was a fun race. I had a lot more fun. It was really tense at the end with McLaren. I was really hoping my boys would not crash, but they did not. So like I've been shouting out a little bit so far this episode, don't forget to like the episode before you get out of here and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We were over 3,500. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, 85 people watching, 39 likes. Let's get that up to 50 before I sign off here in a couple of minutes. I'll be back with 2 episodes during the summer break before we get into our regular race week content again. But yeah, it has been a super fun first 14 races of the season. I'm going to take a little bit of time, go into the wind tunnels, see what we can kind of prep for 2026, maybe come out with some new stuff for the back end, because just because most of the teams are turning off the tap for 2025 does not mean that F1 Fantasy Pole Position is going to follow suit, because they can just reload for 2026. No problems there. But I hope everyone has a great summer break. I will be back with some content throughout. Gee-whiz, yeah, I have not been in contact with Pat. I was going to shoot him a message, just making sure everything's all right, seeing how he's doing, because I haven't seen his website update for a couple of weeks. So I will check in with him over the summer break. But great call by you. Macatek says, thank you, Ewan. See you later. Yes, Macatek, I will see you later. It's been a phenomenal first 14 races of the season, everybody. Hopefully you are having a good time. I will be back next Monday with the summer break survey episode and then team selection. And then we are already back into a race week. So enjoy these couple of weeks off while you can. Decompress, get some of the disappointment about Ollie Behrman out of your system, and we'll be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. It is going to be a bang-up weekend. But once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. I did it again. I just went to the outro part, but I will actually be gone this time.